In my chapter, Re-Engineering Cultures to Create a Sustainable Civilization, I advocate that we need to move beyond the consumer culture. We need to transform cultures so that living sustainably feels as natural as living as a consumer feels today. The consumer culture was engineered over these past 200 years to make it feel natural, to define our well-being through our high-consumption lifestyles. We now feel entitled to have air conditioning and cars and jet travel and even pets. But unfortunately, on a planet of 7 billion and one that will increase to 9.5 billion people, it's just not possible to live this high consumption lifestyle. So we need to intentionally and proactively shift cultures. And we can do that using 6 key societal institutions: governance, media, marketing, education, social movements, and traditions. By using these strategically, we can normalize low-consumption, sustainable ways of living. Education, for example, we can change curricula in order to normalize and teach children an understanding of our relationship with the planet. We can shift what's served in cafeterias so that they're eating sustainable, local, healthy food rather than adjusting their palates to a high-fat, high-sugar, high-salt diet. In business, we can start creating social enterprises that maximize social well-being, not just profit. Media can be shifting marketing from the marketing of products, mostly often toxic or unhealthy, to social marketing that encourages sustainable ways of living. And so on and so on. So many ways that we can shift cultures using these societal institutions. And if we're successful, and there are many cultural pioneers working right now to shift cultures using these institutions, we can hopefully create a sustainable culture and a sustainable civilization coming from that. But even if we're not successful, and that there's a lot of odds stacked against us with so much of the cultural driving forces encouraging consumerism, whether we're talking about $500 billion in marketing revenue each year, government lobbying expenditures, and so on. Even if that we can't defeat those huge forces, the more cultural pioneers that are sowing seeds of a new culture, the more opportunity that as this consumer culture breaks down, and it will break down because the Earth's systems can't sustain it, the odds are higher that a new culture will take root. A sustainable, healthy, and livable culture, people will seek that out as there are no other alternatives. So the more seeds that are sown now, the more cultural pioneers that grab onto this and figure out how they best can use institutions that they're connected with to change cultural norms, the more likelihood that we will have a sustainable or at least livable future in the decades and centuries to come.